Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to part number 2 of this podcast tutorial in React Native. So in this video we're gonna just set up a bit of the React navigation tabs because what we've done in the last video is just to put the stack, but I want to have some kind of tabs navigation. We're gonna just design a bit like one of the screen called the search screen. So we're gonna be able in the next video to plug already Apollo GraphQL and doing a search query where we can get some of the podcasts. So again, this tutorial is not gonna be about, oh, that's gonna be an awesome UI design where you can sell that and make money with that. I don't think you're gonna be able with this design, but at least you're gonna have like the basic, and you can always leverage that. I'm gonna just show you like how you can think when it's time to design some stuff in React Native. So look at that, it's not that crazy. This is where we're gonna finish for today. So we're gonna have the tab navigation here at the bottom. We're gonna have the tab navigation here at the bottom. So we're gonna have listen now, library, and search. We're gonna have the search screen, where here we're gonna have the search text input, and we're gonna have a flat list where you have a cell right there. So we're gonna start right now. So the way we're gonna work it, make sure you have start with yarn start or npm start, and you have your app running. Here is the, okay, perfect, like that. The app running. Now here, what we need to install, it's React navigation bottom tabs. So you do yarn add React navigation bottom tab. So remember, it's just because it's the company or profile, something like that. And here's the library name. So we have version 5.5.2. So please make sure you have at least the version 5.5. Don't go too much further. Don't go if we have a version 6, at least go with version 5. Else maybe they're gonna have break and change. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna start by going inside a project, and here inside the navigator, we're gonna create a new file called main tab navigator tsx, because we need the X at the end because it's gonna be a component with some React inside that. So for this file, what are we gonna do? It's first, we need to import React from React. After that, we want to import create bottom tag navigator from bottom tabs. And after that, here what we're gonna do is we're gonna create the tab main tab equal create bottom tab navigator, like that. And we're gonna create a component called main tab navigator, who's gonna be a function component where we just where we're just gonna use the main tab from here. And remember, it's a composite component where you have navigator and navigator screen. So one thing I want to do before we go further, I want to change home screen to be called listen now. It's just because we don't gonna have a home screen, and I don't want to have a file not have the name of the screen itself. So what I do when I need to change some of the file, I want to just disable the fast refresh. Else you're gonna have like a red screen, and you're gonna maybe need to restart React Native because I don't know, like the compiler and Metro, I think, get stuck with the rename, and yeah. So what you do, I'm gonna open my Explorer, and here I'm gonna change home to be called listen now, and I'm gonna also change here the name of the screen to be listen now screen. And now they're gonna ask me if I want to rename the constant also. I'm gonna say yes, and now I'm gonna just put that there, so we're gonna see it's working. And now I need to change it back to be listen now and listen now screen. And now here I can say listen now screen. Don't know why I did that. And now here that should be listen now. something like that. And now if I refresh, it should work, and now I can re-enable the fast refresh. And the way I just pop up that is by doing Command D. So now, the way we work with the tabs, it's we're gonna create the first one. So we're gonna say main tab that screen, and we're gonna call this one listen now. In this one we need a component, and now that's gonna be listen now screen. I'm gonna just put a space. What I really like, and I think it's a good convention, it's having all the outside library, third-party library, having a space between your importation. After that, I'm gonna go back to my main stack navigator, but now I'm gonna remove the import listen now, because here the main stack screen is gonna be this main tab navigator, and I'm gonna say here tabs like that. After that, if I save, and I don't know why it didn't refresh, now we got this beautiful tabs and tabs. Now here, as you can see, we got one issue is the name here of the tabs become the name here, the name of the headers. You can change it actually right here. I'm gonna show you that in a moment, but the issue is I want each tab to have its own headers. So the way you make it work, it's you go back to main tab navigator, and you need to create a stack navigator for each of the screen so they can have its own headers. And the way you need to make it work first is by going here and making sure the header mode it's none for the main stack one. So this way you remove these headers. Now after that you can go back to the main tab, and now you need to create a stack navigator for each one. So you start by importing that, so stack navigator like that. And now here I'm gonna start with listen now stack equal create stack navigator, and I'm gonna listen now stack navigator. It's equal to a function where the only thing it does, it's having a listen now stack with navigator. And now here we have listen now stack that screen, and this is where we're gonna put the listen now screen now. So something like that. Listen now screen. And now here the listen now is gonna be replaced with the listen now stack. And now by doing this, you get back this stack navigator, but as you can see, now you get the name of this one here. Now, you see, I want to change the name here and the name here. So we're gonna start with the headers. The header, the only thing we need to do is call option, title, and now you put the space you want. Something like that. Listen now, like this. And it's the same here. So I'm gonna say option, title, listen now. And now by doing this, you see now we have a space. That's perfect. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create two folders. So we want the search folder, and I also want the library folder. So the listen now, so that's gonna be what we're gonna talk later, is gonna be where you're gonna have always the latest episode of the podcast you subscribe. And library is going to be the list of the podcasts you have, so you can click on them and open their kind of like podcast detail stuff, where you're going to have the list of maybe like the 400 episodes they have. So we're going to start with library. So I'm going to create a file called library screen.tsx, and I'm going to just copy paste what we have inside listen now. The only difference is I'm going to just take this part listen now and change it back to library. And I'm gonna copy this one. I'm gonna go to search and call search screen.tsx, paste that right there, and now just take the library. I think it's Command D if you're in VS Code. For me, it's Control G. And now the only thing we need to do is having two other stacks like that. So I'm gonna have another one and another one. So now I'm gonna replace listen now to be search stack, and I'm gonna import search screen. And in this case, I don't need to have the title because search it's already the title I want. So now I can just go here in the main tab having my search right there. I don't need the title. And here that's going to be search stack navigator. So now if I save, it's because we have it 2 times. We have search right there. So now you see search is there. So now we're gonna move this one to become library. So take listen now, Command D or Control G, library stack. Don't need the option title because it's going to be the name, and here that's going to be library screen. Make sure you import this one. And now after that, I want to have the main tab. I want the library to be between the search and the listen now. So now I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to save, and now we have listen now, library, and search. Perfect. So the first portion is working. So you see it's the same thing. Now what we want to do is having this kind of little design. We're gonna surely change it, but it's gonna be something we're gonna do later. We don't want to focus too much in the design, more in the ID and the logic. So go back to your search screen. We're gonna start by doing the flex one. I'm gonna remove the center and I'm gonna say I want the BG to be white. So I want the background color to be white. So now I'm getting something like that. After that, I want to create this part here. So you can see here, it's a box. It's a box right there. And this box, I have some padding left and right. And I have some margin here at the top and at the bottom. And this thing go inside in the center. And this is a text input. So the way you make it work is you start with your box. So box, remember it's a view. And I'm gonna put it at height of 50. I'm gonna make sure you take the full width, so a width of 100%. And I want, for now, to make it a BG red. Like that. So you see, it's right there at this moment. So now I can put my text input from React Native. So text input from React Native. And now I'm gonna create a style here outside. So style sheet.create. If you ask why we don't use style sheet for my box, it's best practice to always use style sheet. It's this way you don't restyle every time that render, and you don't lose performance. But don't worry, my stuff here go to a style sheet, and it's I never hit a performance issue with that. So I'm gonna call that input, and this thing is gonna be the style we're gonna put right there as the input. For now, we're gonna have the placeholder where I did say search podcast. So now if I say, you're gonna see search podcast here really small. So for the input, I decided to go with the height of 40. And I say flex one, so I want to take the full space it can take. Also, I want to have his background color to came from our team. We have from constant file. Color, and this is gray lightest. So now if I save, you can see it take the full space. But the thing is, I don't want this thing to take the full space because you see, you have some padding here, left and right. So the way you add that is you go here and you see PX, so padding horizontal, and I'm gonna say small. So in this case, small, it's, if you look here in your theme, space, small, equals 16. So when I say PX 16, I say I want the padding left and right of 16. Okay, like that. And now I'm gonna just remove the BG red for now. I don't need that. Not just for now, but for every time. The thing is, you see, I want to have some margin at the top here because now it touched the edge of the header. So I'm gonna say margin top, and I want SM, so 16 also. Now after that, my input, I would like him to have some border radius because right now it looks too much square, so I'm gonna put a border radius of 10. After that, I want him to have some padding left and right because right now you see it touch the edge. So padding horizontal, and I want that from the team, so this way I keep the same kind of spacing. And that's gonna be small also. Like that, so now you have some space. After that, I think the font is too small, so you can change it by doing font size. And I'm gonna get that from my theme, and inside my theme I have everything about the text and I have the size. And I'm gonna want him to be medium. So this way it's 18. You have we have the autocomplete, so it's 18 right there. Now if I save, you take a bit more space. Now the thing I want to change is the blue here. I don't want the blue, it's the native blue from iOS here. So I'm gonna just change the selection color, and I want that again from my theme, and that's gonna be the blue light. It's gonna be kind of my primary color. So now you see, it's now a smaller, a lighter blue. Now after that, I have an issue already. It's I cannot close this keyboard. So what I do in this case, I always do that on every project. It's I'm creating a new component inside my component folder called keyboard dismiss view.tsx. So his job of this component is gonna be just about to be like kind of like a big clickable stuff where if you click on this screen, you close the keyboard from anywhere. So you're gonna see it's really simple. Okay, you start by doing React. The reason why first thing I create a component, it's because we're gonna use it a lot. And now one thing I don't like, it's my prettier never really go on save, and I want to run on save. Okay, so now if I have a lot of space and I save, perfect. After that, what I want to do, it's to create this component. So I'm gonna say const keyboard dismiss view, so the name of the component. And this one, we're gonna have already some props. So in TypeScript, you do an interface prop, something like that, or there can be a type, but I always use an interface. And I put a Boolean variable who can be undefined called with scroll view, because sometimes I may be gonna want to have a scroll view or sometimes not. And the way you can pass it the props is by calling this, you put colon, and you say this keyboard dismiss view, it's a type of a React functional component. And here it can take a generic props, who is this props. And now that means my props here is gonna be of type props here. So we're gonna be able to have the autocomplete. Also, just to make sure we don't want to forget to export. Now the only thing we do is if we have the scroll view, so if the Boolean is true, we're gonna return here a scroll view from React Native. And this scroll view here, we're gonna have keyboard should persist tap to be never. So this way, when you click outside, that's gonna close the keyboard, but that's gonna be a scroll view. And after that here, I'm gonna put is children, because inside React, you can have children inside your component. Else, it's gonna be a big touchable opacity from React Native. But the thing is here, I'm gonna put active opacity of 1. Some people are gonna say, why you don't use touchable without feedback? I hate this component. I just feel like you have a lot of issue with that. What I mean by that, it's all the other one, you can have multiple child, but touchable without feedback can just have 1 and it become painful. So I always use touchable opacity and I put active opacity of 1. Before going further, I'm gonna style those things. I'm gonna put style sheet that create, and I'm gonna just say container. And for the container, the only thing we need here is the flex one. So now both gonna have that. So here, in this case, there's gonna be the content container because it's the element inside and not the list himself we want to style. So here is the same thing. And now here, don't forget the children. But now the thing is the touchable opacity. What should we do with that? Because right now, yes, I can click, but what we should do with this? The only thing we need to care is just pass it on press, and you import the keyboard static from React Native, and you just call dismiss method. This way, that's gonna just dismiss the keyboard. I think you don't even say, but yeah. So now you go back to your search screen, and now you wrap all your box with your keyboard dismiss view, something like that. And now what happened? It's if I open the keyboard and I click outside, you see, now it closes. So every time you click on something, it's not something who can get the keyboard, it's gonna close. So it's pretty nice. It's almost like, for me, it's almost like a copy and paste from any project. It's something I always use. Here it's dismiss. I forget the S. Here that should be dismiss. And now here should be dismissal. Okay. Now after that, we've done this part. We want to jump on the flat list with this element. So below this box, it's kind of like the headers. First thing, I also want to make sure that I have a margin bottom of SM. So if you have the same margin top and bottom, you can use MY for margin vertical, and here it's SM. So the same thing. So now we have some margin bottom, and now here we're gonna have the flat list from React. And the way that works, because we don't have data yet, we're gonna just fake. So I'm gonna say ID1 here and ID2. So this way I'm gonna be able to render two items. And for the key extractor, because you need to extract the key, so React Native don't cry. You do key extractor item ID. But now key extractor want to receive a string. So you see, you don't want to receive a number, want to receive a string. So you just wrap your number inside a string constructor, so it transforms your number to a string. After that, now what we need to do is going to be pretty simple. We're just going to design the item right from this element, okay? We're going to take a box, and for the box here, we're going to put in a height of 90, and we're going to start with a BG red. And I'm going to put a text inside that, and I'm going to just say Joe Rogan. I just use Joe Rogan because I think it's the podcast everyone knows. So this is what we have. So we have two items. And if you ask why I always use red and stuff like that, I like to use bright colors when I design. So this way I see, oh, that's the issue. That's the issue. Oh, this is where I am. So after that here, what I want to do is having a box where here we're going to fake the image, where we're going to finally not fake, but this is where we're gonna have the image in the future. So here, I want the image to be square, so we need to have a height and a width of the same size, and I choose to go with 70 because I want to have 10 and 10 from top and the bottom because it's height of 90. And now I want this one to have a BG of blue light because it's kind of like the primary color we're gonna use. And now you can see we have this like that. The reason is because the flex direction in React Native by default is column. In our case, we want to have a row. So by doing row, what that means is this element go left and right versus top and bottom. After that, I want to have my element to be aligned. So align item center. So here, there, it's flex direction. Align is align item. BG is background color. Now you see we have that. Perfect. Now we want to have some spacing, be it left and right. Some padding, so I'm gonna add padding SM. And also I want this picture to have some border radius, so you can just say radius 10, so it's gonna be a border radius of 10. After that, I want some spacing between this one and Joe Rogan, so I'm gonna say MR for margin right 10, so we can have some spacing. Perfect. Now I think it's time to remove the red. And now this is where we are. Now we want to add two other tests. This is the subtitle. And here we're gonna have 4,000 episodes. Now you see we got an issue. It's those elements go with the flex direction row. The way you fix that, it's to wrap those three texts inside this box. So this box is gonna go to the right of this one, but those gonna be flex direction column, so they go top, bottom, bottom. Now if you save, you have something like that. After that, I want the title to be bold, so font weight bold, just like that. I want the subtitle to have a small size of X small. So X small don't work right now, and the reason why is because the theme don't have it. So I want to show you how you can modify the theme. So if you go back to your theme.js, inside text, you have the size. You have small, base. So base by default, all your text is gonna be 16. This is why base. So if we want to add X small, you can just add that right there. The thing is now you don't refresh. It's because the auto refresh don't work when you change something from a provider. So you just need to refresh your screen with Command R, and now it should work right there. So 12. So I'm gonna use the same text size for the 4,000 episode. The only difference is the 4,000 episode now I'm gonna have a color of blue light. And for the subtitle, I want that to be gray. So I'm gonna say color gray. So it's a bit better like that. The only thing missing now is I want to make sure my flat list is gonna take the full space. So you just put like a style. Style is gonna become from style.list. It's not created yet, so I'm gonna create the property list right there. And now this list is gonna just have a min height of 100%. So just take the full space you have. Nothing gonna change there, but that's gonna be something we're gonna use in the future. So that's it. Thing is the same thing. Yeah. So in the next episode, it's just because I want to focus on the search first. It's just because the GraphQL layer have the search query already there for us. So this way we're gonna be able to at least get some item, and after that work with those items, because if we don't do this yet, we're gonna need to mock everything, and that's gonna be painful. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Again, this thing, it's gonna be in the part 2 branch. So if you want to look at the code, it's gonna be finally the repo is gonna be in the description. Make sure you're in the part 2 branch if you want to see what we've done in this one. And I hope you enjoy. I'm gonna talk in the next one. Bye everyone.